think it was a photograph that I saw, and it brought me back to standing on the table with my grandmother and grandfather and my mom, my stepmom, Jeannie, who I call Mom, of course, and my dad, and I'm blowing out a candle. Because there were four of us. I'm from the first marriage when Dad was married to Betty McDonald, Elizabeth. When Jerry Lewis and my dad split up, the business managers didn't take care of the taxes, didn't pay the taxes for them. So, of course, it came back to my mom. And so my mom ended up having to pay her taxes. We lost our house. We lost our home. So we moved in. We traveled around a lot. And then my mom realized that she just couldn't take care of all of us anymore. And she told my Aunt Ann, to take us over to Dean Martin's house. So we were all living together. Dad married Jeannie, my stepmom, and had the 3 children. And all of a sudden, instead of her 3 little children, she had 7 in this big house, kind of like the Brady Bunch. And it was quite something. But we went to school with other children, Desi Jr., Lucy Jr. I went to school with Tina Sinatra. So all the friends of, our family, they were all famous also. Because our family was very normal, believe it or not. It was, Dad was home every night for dinner, and we're all, one table, and he was so funny. The Rat Pack, Dean, Frank, and Sammy, they were unbelievable. And I remember, of course, when I was 10 years old, going to the Sands Hotel and sitting in the Copa room, and the room would be dark, and then you would hear the announcer say, "Ladies and gentlemen, the Sands Hotel is proud to present the star of our show, direct from the bar, Dean Martin." Everybody would laugh, then he'd walk out, and people would go, "Oh, there he is." And I'm sitting there, all these people around me going, "Oh, there he is." And he would come out and he would sing, and he had on that beautiful tuxedo, the red pocket square. You're sitting at your table, and here's the stage, and you're in the front row. You're looking up, and that's how it is today. And he would have a drink put on that first table down there, and it would sit there, and it was J&B and soda, and he called it just booze. It was J&B, but he really didn't drink that one until after. Then he would come and pick it up, and then he would drink it. But he had Martinelli's apple cider in his glass when he was up there. He made everybody feel at home. And then all of a sudden, Uncle Frank would walk out, and then Uncle Sammy, and they would sing together, and they respected each other, and they joked with each other, and they were all at the top of their game. They could sing, they could dance, they were funny. Who they were on stage, that's who they were off stage. And the friendship had lasted for years and years and years. When I asked him about singing lessons, and he said, "No, you don't want singing lessons. You don't want to sound like everybody in the choir." But he would say, "Learn all your lines, and please don't embarrass me." As I said, he would say, "Arrive early, stand on your mark, sing from your heart, leave people happy. When you leave, don't make a mess." And that's who Dad was, just to treat people the way you want to be treated. Frank Sinatra, absolutely. He was so kind to me, and he was interested in what I had to say. And he, when I graduated from high school, he gave me a beautiful gold watch, and it said, "To my social butterfly, love Uncle Frank," because I was always running in and running out. But he would talk to me, and he would explain things to me about singing. We were going to sing a song on the Dean Martin show, the Christmas show, and I'm standing there with him, and I said, "So, Uncle Frank, how do you do it? How do you get that great tone?" He said, "Well, Dean, it's all about the air. I take a big breath, I push from the diaphragm," he said, "and I can tell even before a note comes out if I'm going to be on pitch or not." I said, "Really? Does my dad do that?" He says, "No, your father has no idea what he's doing. He just does it. He's a natural." My dad could pick up a piece of music, sing it through the first time, just beautiful. Frank would work on it. He worked for every note. My dad just had it. When I got my first contract with Columbia, I'm trying to think, I think I was 16 years old. And I had to go to court to get the court order so that I could sign a contract to sing. So I started early. And actually my first little hit was with Lee Hazelwood. It was a country song, Girl of the Month Club, and When He Remembers Me. It wasn't until my dad passed away on Christmas, and that's 20 years ago. Let me see. It was in 1995. And after that, I thought, I think I want to revisit that music, the Great American Songbook, because I had been folk, I had been Western or country, and a little bluesy. And then I started listening to all that music again, listening to how gorgeous my dad's voice was. It's like in my DNA. And the minute I started listening to that, I said, wait a minute, this is what I should be singing. And I love that music. NIAF is so important. So the national, and they say NIAF or NIAF, but it's N-I-A-F. NIAF.
I say NIAF.
Italians say the I is an E. Like if you say D, D-I, well, that doesn't matter, but it's NIAF or NIAF. And they do, it's an unbelievable foundation. They raise a lot of money, and it's awareness for, I'm so proud to be an Italian American, and all the great works that we have done. And now they have this book out about the liaison between the White House and the Italians, and I can't wait to read it. We didn't even talk about Jerry Lewis, Martin and Lewis, because they were, for 10 years, the biggest, greatest comedy team in ever. And I remember growing up. Growing up watching the telethon, and with Dad and Jerry. And Jerry is a very dear friend of mine. Of course, we stayed friends through the years. He wrote the foreword to my book, and we went and I interviewed him because I couldn't write a book about Deana Martin without having Jerry Lewis in it. And he's going to be in the documentary. We're looking forward to 2017. We're doing a fabulous documentary on my dad, because that would be his centennial. He was born June 7th, 1917. So last year I did lots of shows for Frank Sinatra's centennial, and we're going to be putting together the shows, the documentary, my book. We're going to, that's going to be made into the movie, so I'm very excited about that. And in fact, we are going to do a big centennial for my dad at the Friars are putting it on at the Pierre Hotel. In 2000, yeah. So that's going to be amazing. We did it last year for Frank Sinatra, and we'll do it again this year. And that is hysterical.